Okay, so real quick, what makes a good plan? Um, Most plans that don't succeed, the reason that they don't succeed is because they were not well thought out from the beginning, and it was just not set up for success. So one thing that I do for myself when I'm setting a goal is I use the SMART goal model, and that is something that you can Google. It's not my idea. SMART is an acronym. It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So, specific. Make your goal as specific as possible, right? Instead of saying, I'm going to do better this year, or instead of saying, I'm going to try my hardest, or, I'm going to be a good student, be specific with yourself. Make bullet points of exactly what you can do to be a good student. So, for example, if your goal is to be a better student this year, what does that mean for you? How many hours a week are you going to study? What kind of grades does a good student get? How many times a week are you going to class or versus missing class? Are there outside factors that could influence you from being able to meet this goal? You know what I'm saying? So consider all of those and be very specific in your goal setting, because the more specific you are, then the more milestones that you will have laid out for yourself to reach, and then you can check those things off as you go along the way, and you can monitor your own progress. You can see that you are getting closer and closer to your goal. But if my goal is vague, without any specific bullet points for me to have to adhere to, then it's going to be more difficult for me to reach my goal, because good student, uh good mom, better worker, successful, these are all abstract concepts that are subject to opinion, right? Your version of a good student may look different from mine. So be very specific with yourself. Don't just use these broader concepts, right? Because then you'll be able to monitor whether or not you're actually getting towards that goal of being a good student. Um, Measurable. By making your goal specific, you then make it measurable, because now you have specific tasks set up for yourself to do that you can cross off, or that you can check off that you have met those tasks, right? So let's say my goal is to be a good student, and one of the ways that I want to be a good student is to um, read for 20 minutes a night. Very measurable, right? So I just use a calendar or something, and I can mark off as I go along each night that I've read, right? Now I'm moving towards my goal. The next one, achievable, or attainable. Is this something that you can do? Is it appropriate for you to assign yourself this task, or are you stretching beyond your limits? Because if you're assigning yourself a goal that's not reasonable, that's not attainable to you, then you're setting yourself up for failure, right? So if I'm coming from being a straight F student and now I want to be a straight A student, well, there's a lot of steps in between there, right? Like, I'm not going to go straight from never ever doing what I'm supposed to do, or what I feel that I should be doing, to doing it every single time and getting 100%. So make sure that the goal is also attainable for you, because the more attainable it is, the more likely it is that you will be able to achieve that. And then once you achieve that goal, that will bolster your confidence to be able to set a new goal that may be a little bit more difficult, that maybe wasn't attainable for you at one time, but now that you've met this other one, now it is, right? So your goals can build upon each other if you continue to make them attainable. Um, Relevant. Relevance is such an important thing that a lot of people overlook, right? You think that as long as you're setting a goal, it's relevant, right? A goal for improvement, I want to be better. But pick the areas in your life that you are really struggling in. you know if you're already going to school every day, or if you're already getting straight A's, or if you're already doing this, without having set a goal, then the goal then loses its value because it's no longer relevant, because it's not something that you need to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So the goal is the goal of setting a goal, the goal of the process of setting goals is to to challenge yourself, right? To reach new levels of success, right? So in order to do that, we have to choose something that is in an area that we need to make improvement in. And then finally, the last one, give your goal a time limit. Don't just say, I'm going to be a good student. How will you know when you have gotten to that level of good student if you don't ever set a time limit for this goal, right? Time limits are important because not only do they give us an endpoint to look forward to, but they also can put a little bit of fire up under you, right? If your time is coming up and you haven't met your goal, then maybe you need to move things along more quickly. Or maybe if your goal wasn't working out within the time that you set forth, you need to break it down even further and set smaller milestones so that you can reach the ultimate goal. um, when you're setting a goal for yourself, you're you're the whole point of the process is to build up your self-esteem in the fact that if you have something that you decided to do, whatever it is, mind over matter, you can do it.